What's up, guys? Classy Metal here. 2 days, 2 videos in a row in 2 days. I'm actually off work again. I'm not up quite as early as I was yesterday, but I am up early, getting my day started with this Kickstart Midnight Grape. It's pretty tasty. Grape flavored stuff sometimes actually really hurts my stomach, so I probably shouldn't be drinking that. But if the pains come, I think I'm just going to go on and off myself with these Packy Haunted Ghost Pepper chips. Might as well go all out if you're going to go. So if this turns out to be my final video ever, I just died from eating and drinking things that I shouldn't have been. Moving on, I've got a stack of stuff here that I picked up on eBay. I picked them up from Mad Rush Media's eBay store. I love the Mad Rush Media eBay store. It's for me, it's like closing my eyes and walking into an old school music store. I can easily see the stuff that they offer being sold at an FYE, a Hastings when Hastings was still around, Sam Goody when Sam Goody was still around. Fortunately, uh, a lot of those aren't around anymore. I do not have a physical music shop within hours of me, so I have to do all of my ordering online. I love the Mad Rush Media site though because they offer so many new releases and that type stuff, and the price points are very good considering some of the stuff is imported. And I mean, you're buying brand new CDs from Mad Rush most of the time. They do offer some used, but the majority of the stuff on there is brand new. Going to link up the eBay store in the comments because they have a ton of good stuff, including the stuff that I'm going to show right now. Also, going to list everything that I show in order as I always do. That way, if you see something that you're interested in, you don't understand my pronunciation because I'm going to butcher some of these I already know. At least it's right there for you to see and look up on your own. The first album I'm going to show is actually not even metal at all. It was released on Season of Mist Records. It is, I guess, classified as neo folk. It's Heilung with their newest release. I think this came out last year, entitled Futha. I think this is how you pronounce that. Man, this is a hard one to explain. If you have not heard Heilung, you're probably not going to get this explanation at all. It's something that you just kind of have to check out for yourself. As I said, it's classified as neo folk. That's a pretty generic term to classify this is to classify this as. It's got like ancient Germanic, European, like Viking Age, Iron Age type stuff going on in this. It's kind of like history through music. It's very repetitive, very trance-like, very folky at times. It has like some chanting going on, even like some demonic chanting at times is what it sounds. Pretty good stuff. This entire album, as all of High Lung's works, I guess both of their albums are, is an experience. It's like a complete experience to take in, hear everything. I would love to see this band live. I know they have to be an amazing live performer. There's so many members of the band. There's so many elements to this. It's amazing stuff. I can't really do it justice because it is so different from everything else that I tend to listen to. I know there's been a few times that I've had this playing pretty loud in my room, and my wife and my son just give me weird looks because they don't understand it. I mean it's like a true form of music that can completely evoke feelings within you that you never knew that you would feel. It's an experience. If you haven't listened to them, I definitely suggest that you just take the time and listen to an album all the way through. I know there's going to be times that you might be taken aback a little bit just because it's so different from everything else that you hear and that type stuff. But it's quite good stuff. Next up, we have a box set. This is the Candlelight Years box set from Anaal Nathrakh. I was going through my collection not too long ago, and I was embarrassed or I guess disappointed in myself with the lack of Anaal Nathrakh that that I own. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger on this. I got to looking for In the Constellation of the Black Widow, which is my favorite album from them, and I did not own a copy. And I saw this box set, and it was in this box set, and this box set was cheaper. I think this was like $9. It was actually selling cheaper than that one standalone album. The three albums on this were all released, as I said, through Candlelight Records. It has In the Constellation of the Black Widow, also has Passion and Vanitas. Of course, you miss out on the artwork and inserts and stuff when you buy one of these box sets. But I will say those three particular albums had pretty weak artworks, in my opinion, anyway. So I wasn't just too upset about missing out. And I got three albums for the price of one. You would think that something like this would have a pretty intricate or thick insert booklet. Unfortunately, this does not. It just has the little insert is like a one fold out. It's just a showing the band and pretty much just tells the albums that are in there. So that was a bit of a disappointment. All of the CDs that are in this box set, all three of them, have the exact same artwork, which is pretty repeated between the insert, the front cover, and the disc themselves. Pretty good stuff. I mean, I am stoked to have copies of these in my collection now, especially the copy of In the Constellation of the Black Widow. It's pretty much a torchbearer in the black and grind genre. I mean, they do it better on that album than they've ever done it, and they do it better than most other people within that particular little subgenre try to do it. So fantastic stuff. They're a band that I know most of you watching this channel have already had some sort of exposure to, as you will have most of this stuff that I'm going to show. Next up, we have the newest release from Fleshgod Apocalypse entitled Veleno, I believe is how you pronounce that. This came out last year on Nuclear Blast. This this does not feel as heavy to me as some of the previous Fleshgod Apocalypse releases. It's not bad. The operatic parts on this are pretty good. It just feels not, as I said, not as heavy as some of their previous material. I know the fact that the days of Oracles and Mafia are long gone. I don't expect to hear that when I listen to a new Fleshgod album. Those days are gone. I mean, you're not going to hear another Oracles. You're not going to hear another Mafia. Some of their, I mean, but I've been able to dig some of their latter stuff. This has its moments that I absolutely just truly enjoy, but to me, it just feels a little bit softer than what I tend to expect from Fleshgod Apocalypse. I definitely want to give it a little break and revisit it and give it a spin or two later. As I said, I didn't hate it, but I did enjoy it, but it just felt a little softer than what I'm accustomed to from Fleshgod. Next up, we have a new release. This is also on Nuclear Blast Records. This is the newest album from Vader entitled Solitude and Madness. To me, it feels like a continuation of the Thy Messenger EP, which is not a bad thing at all. Pretty good Vader. Fantastic stuff. I mean, I love pretty much everything Vader has ever done. I saw Vader way back in the day. I think it was like in 2001. And I was young and I was dumb, and they scared the crap out of me there, man. Like, I fell in love with him. That like the guy's eyes looked so evil, and they sounded unlike most of the things that I was listening to at that time. I was instantly enamored with Vader, and it's a love affair that's continued for almost 20 years now. So yeah, Solitude and Madness, fantastic stuff. Definitely glad to have this in the collection now. Next up, we're going to have one that I'm going to butcher. This is some psychedelic black metal out of Finland. This was also released through Nuclear Blast Records. This is Oranssi Pazuzu. I know I probably butchered that. If you want the proper pronunciation, go check it out on Wyatt's channel, because this is a band that I was first introduced to through Wyatt. So this is their newest release entitled Mestarin Kynsi. Probably butchered that as well. As I said, they will all be listed in the description. Psychedelic black metal. This one feels a little bit more accessible than some of their previous works. It's not a bad output at all. As I said, it's psychedelic black metal. So if you're not into that psychedelic type stuff, you're probably not going to enjoy this at all. It's pretty different type stuff, but I did enjoy this. I liked it quite a bit. I've given this 2 or 3 spins already. I like the soundscapes that they're able to capture on this. As I said, it feels a bit more accessible than some of their earlier works, and a bit more polished, a bit more, the production value seems a little bit better. That's not surprising considering this was now released there on Nuclear Blast Records. So fantastic stuff, though. I really, really did dig that. Next up, recently I was going through my collection. I went to go pull some Darkthrone. I just got in the mood to listen to some Darkthrone, and I went to pull, and then it struck me that I had sold quite a few of my Darkthrone albums back when my wife was having some of her surgeries, and then I was disappointed with myself because it had been that long ago, and I haven't gone to pull any Darkthrone out, and I haven't re-added them to the collection. The only album that I had was Plague Wielder, so I was like, man, I got to rectify this ASAP. So as I was doing this order on Mad Rush. I picked up a few Darkthrone albums. With me being the poser that I am, I had to get the quintessential sellout Darkthrone album first. This is The Cult Is Alive. I know that this one gets a ton of hate from I guess Darkthrone purist, but I actually dig this album. I like it quite a bit. No, it's not my favorite Darkthrone release, but it is definitely warranting a spot within the collection. I did enjoy this, and like the production value on this is a bit different than some of the other, I guess some of the previous releases from Darkthrone leading up to this. I think that's why it's been um, labeled as their sellout, the beginning of their sellout phase or that type of stuff. I don't know, man. I love everything that these guys have done. Super talented uh, duo there. Fantastic stuff. I do dig that. Next up I picked up was probably it could possibly be my favorite. Um, Definitely one of my top two favorite Darkthrone releases. This is A Blaze in the Northern Sky. This is a Peaceville reissue. I think this was from 2003 reissue. Amazing stuff. I mean, this one is a classic. I'm sure you've all heard this at some point. Not too keen on the interview that's on this. I wish they would have done that on a separate disc or something. I don't like it continuing over to the interview after the album itself is done. But beggars can't be choosers. You get what you get. But it is I mean, it's a classic. I love Darkthrone and I love A Blaze in the Northern Sky. And then the last one for this video, we have Circle the Wagons, another one that's kind of off people's radar when they listen to Darkthrone. It's not one of the first albums that they're going to pull. I do dig this one quite a bit as well. I tend to have tastes that are different than a lot of other people's when it comes to especially popular bands. I like some of the stuff that a lot of people don't care for as much, and this is another one that kind of falls into that realm there. So there we have it. I mean, that's not just too big of a stack. I do have another large stack, but I don't want to kill you by tossing all of this stuff in one 45 hour long video. And yeah, I don't feel like talking that much either. I may hammer out another video tomorrow because I'm off of work tomorrow. If not, it'll be the first part of next week sometime. I guess tomorrow is the first part of this week, but maybe around Tuesday or Wednesday before I hammer out another one. That's all I've got for today. Stay classy, stay metal. Check out the Mad Rush Media eBay store. He's got a ton of stuff, a ton of new releases on there, and the price points are pretty fantastic. He also offers deals. If you spend so much, you get a percentage off and that type deal. So definitely go check out Mad Rush Media. As I said, all the albums are listed below. That's all I've got for today. Stay classy, stay metal. I will see you all very soon. I promise.